Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to continue on using this 3D data, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a VRay sun lighting analysis on this, light meter analysis. I noticed quite a few people had some difficulty doing this in the previous class, so I'm going to create this video to show you how to do it properly. My method of doing it, I like to take all this texture off the file. So to do that, I go into this little spanner on the corner, scroll down to UVW remove, and then just set materials to grey. Then what I do, same method, pretty simple. I create a daylight under the add and systems, just put that down, and then with that set, what I do is I change the location to Australia, Melbourne, just so it's related to the environment we're in. And then what I'll do is I'll go into modifiers, set that sun to a VRay sun. You'll get a VRay environment, just click yes, it's totally fine. Then my method for doing this is pretty much already set up. All you need to do is to go into render setup, and then within here you select VRay renderer, and then these settings aren't too important. You just go to the final tab, render elements, and you add, scroll down till you find lighting analysis, and you add that, and then basically zoom into where you think will be interesting for the rendering. As we know, north's this way. We can see some of these shadows by going over to this part, and we can render it out, and we'll start rendering. The main thing that you need to realize when you do this is that you're not going to get this lighting analysis straight away. What you need to do is wait for it to fully render, and then you click this little tab up here, and you can go to VRay lighting analysis. Because it's not finished yet, it's not going to be fully loaded in yet, but once it finishes you'll be able to load it up and see your render. And then to get the lighting analysis to work properly, you need to adjust some of the settings in the VRay lighting analysis render element. To do that, we'll just have to wait for the render to finish. It'll just take a minute or two. So we'll wait for that to happen. Okay, so now that our render has finished, we can go into VRay lighting analysis. And I assume this is where most people had the problem, is that you go to VRay lighting analysis and everything just sort of looks fully white. There's no information here to be had. The reason that is because they haven't changed the VRay lighting analysis settings. So to do that, you have to be on the render elements tab and have the VRay lighting analysis selected, and you just scroll down. It's really simple, but it's hard to find if you don't know where it is. And the good thing about this filter is that it updates without having to re-render. So once you've done that, you can change these numbers, these max and min values, to something really high, and you can put the legend on, and you'll start getting this render output coming through. And what you can do here is sort of just hone it in a little bit. So I found that something around 1500 or 150,000 lumens is a pretty good place to start getting quite close to the parameters you want. Let's say 250. Let's say 100,000. I see we're starting to get some high points here. 95. We'll up this one to about 100. Yeah, so you're starting to get some nice contrast between highs and lows. So through this image. And you can sort of hone this as much as you want until you get good highs and lows across the image. I feel like this is pretty good for where we're at. We got some high points, some low points, a lot of middle ground between the super dark areas right in the shade and the very highlighted areas where you're getting a lot of sun. There's a couple other settings you can change. You can change it to logarithmic. You can change from false colors to grid overlay, and that will just sort of give you specific numbers on points on a grid across that, and you can change the spacing of where those are as well. However, I find that false colors is a bit clearer, especially with the legend on. Yeah, so to save that image, you go save current channel, and if you want to have the legend, I've found that it doesn't save with a PNG format, so just save it as a JPEG. You can go give it a name, Abbotsford, let's say, save that, and you can open up those files and have a look at them. Open file, there we go, and then you can see our VRay lighting analysis. I hope that was helpful if you've been struggling with some of those settings to be able to get the lighting analysis working for you. You can do a few of them. You can easily change the sort of daylight settings over here in the setup to be a different day or time of day, and you can use the same viewport and get a few different perspectives on it. The other main important thing is if you're going to do this when you're doing the multi-sun analysis, you really want to only have one sun active when you're doing this lighting analysis. Otherwise the data that you get, the lumens, they're going to be quite strange. They're going to be really, really high because you're hitting it with lots and lots of light. So I would definitely change that setting, or change it so you only have one sunlight on. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Good luck with getting your lighting analysis working.